Welcome to the offices of the British Shooting Show, and we're here today with Tony Bilas from Brocock and MTC Optics. And Tony's going to tell us about the two guns that we've got here on the desk, and the home that they're going to be going to, and the very special job that they're going to be doing. So Tony, take it away.
Thanks, Lee. So what we have here are two Brocock rifles, a Brocock Bantam Mark II. This is the Sniper HR version. What that means, it's a regulated rifle. I also have a Brocock Commander, which is the very latest version. Pretty similar rifle, same mechanism, but has this adjustable stock, including an adjustable butt pad, which is very useful for long, short shooters, but also quite useful when you're shooting out of a car window. And that comes to the point of what these rifles are going to be used for. Both these are sponsored rifles going up to the Penrith and District Red Squirrel group. And they started to sponsor them in the past, and Brocock has picked the sponsorship up from now on forward. So these rifles will go up and help do pest control in the Penrith area to control grey squirrels, so that the red squirrels continue to prosper and breed in that area.
So just tell us a little bit more about these guns as well, because you said they're regulated. These are FAC.
These are the FAC versions. So about 70% of the Brocock rifles that we currently make are high power, what we call in the UK FAC, firearms certificate rated rifles. And that means that they're producing energies of around 40 foot-pounds. One of these is a 2.2, and the other is a 2.5, and this gives a lot more clout on the target at the other end, and that's quite useful for a professional pest controller. The guy who's going to be using it is a guy called Jerry Moss, who's a well-known forest ranger up in Penrith, and he'll be using these to control the grey squirrel population up there to great effect. So the more powerful the rifle we give him, the cleaner the kill will be at the end of the day.
So with the new Commander, Tony, just show us, because I've seen this EWA and it had a side rail on it, but this one doesn't.
So. No, well, it's an optional extra on this. So this is as the rifle comes out of the box, and you have an adjustable butt pad. You also have a power adjuster on it, which has 3 or 4 depending on the model and the power click. So you can go from full power down to about 25 foot-pounds. That's the lower power on the high ones. Obviously on a 12 foot-pound rifle it's about 8 foot-pounds. So you've got these power adjusters on the side which are useful. But because it's regulated, you have 2 pressure gauges. The first pressure gauge shows you the actual pressure in the cylinder, so you know where you are having filled the cylinder up. And I suppose about 70 shots in 40 foot-pounds this one will do. In 12 foot-pounds it goes all the way up to 420 shots, so you've got a bit more to go with. But the second gauge, that's to show you the regulated pressure. So that's not in itself a lot of interest, but you can see as the 2 gauges reach the same pressure that you're running out of air, and that the gauge will respond differently. But you can see the gauge moving as it fills and empties, and that reassures you that the regulator's working. Of course, the Bantam version has the same setup. It has 2 pressure gauges and some other improvements over the Bantam one. Apart from the regulator, it's also got this new stock, which I think is quite beautiful, and a bigger silencer, which improves the noise reduction on both of these rifles, as well as detail changes to adjustable cheek piece on that one you have there.
And just tell us a little bit about the optics that we've got on both of these.
Yes, that's right. Well, so we're sponsoring both the rifles with 2 MTC optics. And this particular one is the new Viper Pro, which has the gearbox turret, so you can't lose where you are, even if you had to rotate it more than once. The gearbox only allows you to rotate the drum 1 time. And great optics, flip-up sunshades, and we're also on that one we have a small zero eye relief scope. So on a non-recoiling rifle such as an air rifle, pre-charged air rifle, or maybe a 2.2 rimfire or 1.7 HMR, you don't need to have the 3 inches of eye relief, because when the rifle recoils on a conventional 308 or something like that, you have a bit of a push and you get a black eye. But if you don't have that problem, then you can bring the scope right back into your eye, and that opens up the field of view and gives you a wider field of view, and that's what that scope does.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure that these rifles are going to be of great use to the team up in Penrith, and that they're going to be able to control those grey squirrels.
Let's see if we can get a report from them and see how they get on.
That'd be fantastic. And on that note then, Tony, you've got an announcement about the 2 Red Squirrel groups.
Yes, as you know, Lee, we're very close with the British Shooting Show. It's an important event for the industry, and Brocock has invited both the Penrith and District Red Squirrel Group and also the Cornwall Red Squirrel Project organisers to the British Shooting Show next year. and we'll put them on a stand, and then people can come along, speak to them about the great work that both groups are doing at opposite ends of the country to keep the native red squirrel in place. In fact, the Cornwall lot are just introducing the red squirrel to Britain, so that's quite an exciting project. And the Penrith group are maintaining a population of red squirrels, and they will both be using Brocock rifles to do that job, and they can talk about the rifles and their work at the British Shooting Show in 2019.
Well, that's going to be really interesting. Thank you very much.
Okay, cheers.